Hello, it's Rob from Fountain Pen Journey here with a pen review. It's another Chinese fountain pen. This is an interesting one. This is the MSBH-1, and it's not being marketed as, but I feel that it is very similar to, in fact a bit of a clone of, the Lamy 2000. These pens, MSBH-1, only seem to have two models available at the moment. The MSBH-1, which is these two pens, this is the black finish, this is the silver finish. Got both of these from Bobby Pen on Etsy, his Etsy shop. In my view, yeah, this is very, very much a Lamy 2000 clone. It isn't quite, but it's not far off. I'll get one thing out of the way first off. The Lamy 2000, typically you can pick them up from anything from about £130 up to over 200. Don't know why the vast difference in price, but the Lamy 2000, it's a sort of mid-level pen. This pen retails, and the only place I've found it so far is on Bobby's Etsy shop. This pen is nowhere near the price. Each of these cost me £25. To be absolutely honest with you, I actually think it's worth it. Now, please hit the subscribe button, because if you're interested in knowing how this pen compares to the Lamy 2000, which I have here, I will be doing a comparison review of these two pens. So click the subscribe button, you'll be notified of when I've done that video, which hopefully will be in the next 7 days. In fact, it might even be the next video that I publish after this one, so stay tuned. So back to the MSBH-1. Very much the design aesthetic of the Lamy 2000, particularly the black one. I mean, it is available in this silver version as well, which, in all fairness, you know, it's not bad if you're after a Lamy 2000 in stainless steel. This pen isn't going to set you back anywhere near the price of the stainless steel version, which is typically more expensive. Both pens, believe it or not, are actually metal. They're not Macrolon. So even though we've got this brushed, textured finish, it is quite cold in the hand. It's a metal pen, all metal pen. And the clip is somewhat different to the Lamy 2000, but you know, forget about the clip and you've got a very similar clone to the Lamy 2000 here. The MSBH-1 comes in one nib option, fine. That's all you get. I'm just going to go over the parts of the pen first. So the clip is moulded, well, it's not moulded, it fits into the cap up here. And you can see it's quite an arched clip. It's not like the Lamy 2000's clip, which is pretty Bauhaus and straight and angular. We do have a curved clip. The clip I find is very stiff, but there is a bit of a sort of different angle there, which allows you to slide it on and off things easily. And it does slide on and off from shirt pockets, pen holders, things like that. It is quite stiff. Cap has a slight groove around this section here, and it has MSBH on the, it's not going to find it now, there we go, MSBH on the end of the cap there. Apart from that, there's nothing else to distinguish this pen. There is a silver insert on the finial of the barrel, and the cap does slide off. Now, there's no ears like the Lamy 2000, it simply clicks and slides off. So, different action, no ears to annoy you if that's your thing, and you'll immediately see that the section houses a semi-hooded nib. So, in reality, quite similar to the Lamy 2000. There is a little bit more nib exposed, and we do have this slightly unusual shape. There's no sort of fancy thing. There is a filler hole by the look of it in there, but it is different to the Lamy 2000. When we compare the two pens in the next video, you'll see the differences, but we'll just talk about this pen for now. The barrel unscrews. There's no piston filling knob. What we can see here is a very cheap slide up and down standard converter. It will take standard international cartridges. Now, it's also noteworthy to say that this pen has leaked a bit inside here, so a bit of an issue there, but I haven't had any issues getting ink all over the place on my fingers. Well, probably will now I've taken it apart. No, it's okay. So, that is the black version. Silver version, exactly the same. MSBH on the end of the cap there we go, and sort of insert at the end there. As you can see, this brushed steel, I'm guessing it is, steel finish, all metal pen, looks actually really good. There is a bit of a step up there, but it's not really noticeable. I do find that the section is a little bit short, but the section step up isn't really too much of an issue. So let's do a little bit of a writing sample with both of these pens. I'll start off with the black one. Now, this is quite dodgy paper to write on. This is a Oxford notebook, and I don't like the paper particularly in these. This is the MSBH-1 with a fine nib. This is going to write dry now, isn't it? Just check it on some other paper. Yeah, it's writing okay, but it is a bit dry. So the ink that I'm using, and this could partly because of the cause of the problem, is Pelican 4001 Violet. Now I find that this is a dry ink. Pelican inks typically I find are pretty dry. I'm not particularly impressed with this ink in this pen because of the fine nib. As we'll see in the silver version, we do get better results, so it's once again matching pen to the ink to the paper. So we'll do a quick writing sample with here if it's going to keep up. Now, I'm beginning to suspect that the feed could do with priming, because we do seem to have some ink escaped in here. In fact, that's gone everywhere. That's typical. Right, so I'll just wipe that all over my hands. So I've got nice purple hands. There we go. There we go. Epic pen fail. So this feed should now be perfectly saturated. So that's much wetter, and that's more like I've actually been finding this pen to write. I've had absolutely no issues with this pen. Is it as good as the Lamy 2000? No, but it's less than a quarter of the price. £25 for this pen, to be honest. I think purely for the design is actually, you know, not bad at all. it's a stiff steel nib. There's no gold nib here. It writes perfectly well. Wrote out absolutely fine out of the box. That issue there, I'm guessing, is probably down to the ink leakage. Now I'm guessing that was the converter which wasn't properly seated, but you know, I'm perfectly happy with this. This is a very, very nice pen. I'm not saying it's as good as the Lamy 2000, because we'll do the comparison review of comparison between those two pens in the next video, but just to be aware that these pens exist, and this is quite a good pen. For £25, if you want a Lamy 2000 but you can't afford one, or you really just want to maybe just have the silver version, then certainly I'd recommend having a look at these pens from Bobby. We'll do the silver version now. It's exactly the same pen. So the ink in this, I've had no issues with this. This is Robert Oster. Blue denim. I really like this ink. I think it matches this pen quite well. Do a quick writing sample. There we go. So I wouldn't say that these nibs are absolutely the wettest, but I like quite a wet nib. And these, I mean, these pens keep up. They're absolutely fine. No issues with flow, nothing like that. They're reliable. Almost always start first time, even if you've left them for a couple of weeks. No problem with the thing drying out. As you can see in here, there is a plastic liner, and the pens do post. It's quite a decent chunky pen. Go on to the actual weights now, because this is quite an important thing, because this is an all metal pen. This is not your Lamy 2000 at all. £31 grams capped, uncapped. Find the right balance point. Oh, it's going to roll all over the place, isn't it? There we go. 19.5. So it's all metal. It's going to be a heavy pen. I'll just get the black version to make sure it's comparable. Yeah, 31. So yeah, absolutely excellent quality Lamy 2000 likes. Is it a thumbs up from me? Yes, it's definitely a thumbs up from me. Even with my inky purple fingers, I'm sure that this was an issue with the converter not being seated properly, because I've not had any issues before. So don't take that as gospel. These things are not problematic. They will take standard international ink cartridges as well, so you know, you've always got that option. But of course they come with a converter included, which is always good, and that means that you can use whatever ink, bottled ink, that you want to. So thank you very much for watching this video. The next video will definitely be a comparison between the black Lamy, yeah, you see, there we go, the black MSBH-1 and the Lamy 2000. So I hope you found that this video was very informative, and hopefully it's a pen that you haven't noticed before, because there really aren't that many Lamy 2000 clones around. The Chinese seem to be cloning, if you like, lots of other pens, but they haven't really touched Lamy 2000s, which is it's a bit of a surprise really, because it's quite an old pen, and you would have thought that they'd have realised that there was a potential market for it. The Keiko Edge is perhaps the nearest thing that we've seen recently to the Lamy 2000, but for me personally, this rather unknown pen, MSBH-1, is just really, you know, it's there. It's starting to sort of get into Lamy 2000 territory a little bit more than the Keiko Edge. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and we'll compare this pen with the Lamy 2000. See you next time. Bye.